The noise did not fade away. It was cut. 3 minutes ago, this room was a machine of sound. There was the rhythmic thud of heavy binders hitting the table. There was the friction of wool suits sliding against leather chairs. There were voices overlapping, confident, projecting numbers and demands across the polished mahogany surface. Now the room is a vacuum. The silence began at the far end of the table and moved inward, shutting down the conversation one person at a time. It took exactly 6 seconds for the quiet to become total. Now 18 people are sitting in a stillness so aggressive it feels like a physical weight pressing down on their shoulders. Focus on the center of the table. There is a single sheet of paper lying there. It is standard white letter paper, slightly curled at the edges. It sits alone on the dark wood, equidistant between the two opposing sides. No one is looking at the paper. To look at it would be to acknowledge what is written on it. Instead, 18 pairs of eyes are fixed on 18 different points of safety. The man in the navy blazer is staring at the knot of his own tie. He has pulled his chin down tight against his chest. His breathing is shallow. He is counting the threads in the silk, forcing his brain to process pattern instead of panic. To his left, a woman is holding a pen. It is a silver ballpoint. She is holding it with both hands, twisting the barrel. Clockwise, counterclockwise. The friction of the metal makes a tiny, high-pitched grinding sound. In a normal room, this sound would be invisible. Here, it sounds like a scream. She realizes this. She freezes. She gently places the pen on the legal pad in front of her. She lifts her hands away as if the object is hot. The silence has changed the temperature. Before the paper was slid across the table, the room was warm. It was heated by adrenaline and the friction of negotiation. Now the heat has evaporated. The air feels thin and cold. A ventilation vent above the table clicks. It is a mechanical sound, a plastic louver shifting. 3 heads snap up toward the ceiling, desperate for a distraction. They stare at the vent for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, praying for the fan to kick in and provide a layer of white noise. The fan does not turn on. The heads lower. The disappointment is palpable. On the right side of the table, the team is younger. Their posture is defensive. They are leaning back, spines pressed into the mesh of the ergonomic chairs. They have created distance between themselves and the table. One of them reaches for a glass of water. His hand is shaking. It is a microscopic tremor, a vibration in the wrist. He sees it. He knows the others can see it. He aborts the motion halfway. He turns his hand over and brushes a non-existent speck of dust from his sleeve. He is trying to disguise fear as grooming. On the left side, the posture is different. They are leaning forward. Their elbows are planted on the wood. They are occupying the space, but their faces are blank. They have adopted the mask of professional indifference, but the mask is slipping. Observe the jaw of the older man nearest the window. The muscle is pulsing. Clench, release, clench, release. He is grinding his teeth. The rhythm is steady, like a metronome marking the time since the last word was spoken. The light in the room is fluorescent, harsh and unforgiving. It reflects off the polished table, creating a mirror image of the people sitting around it. They are forced to see themselves twice. The real version, sitting in uncomfortable silence, and the reflected version, distorted and stretched by the curve of the wood. A phone vibrates. It is deep inside a briefcase on the floor. It buzzes once, twice, 3 times. The sound travels through the floorboards. It vibrates up the legs of the chairs. Everyone feels it. No one moves to check it. To check a phone now would be an act of disrespect so profound, it might shatter the fragile tension holding the room together. They let it ring until it goes to voicemail. The silence returns deeper than before. The concept of time has distorted. In a conversation, time is measured in sentences and replies. Here, time is measured in heartbeats. The woman at the head of the table shifts her weight. The leather of her chair creaks. It is a loud, groaning sound, like timber under stress. She freezes mid-movement. She does not complete the shift. She remains in an awkward, twisted position, half-turned rather than make another sound. She is trapped by the acoustics of the room. The focus returns to the paper in the center. A draft from the air conditioning system catches the edge of the page. The corner lifts slightly, flutters and settles back down. This tiny movement draws every eye in the room. For a split second, there is a collective inhale. They think something is happening. They think the paper is being moved. They think the verdict is changing. But it is just the air. The paper is still. The hope in the room dies a second death. Now the biology takes over. Throats are dry. You can hear the sound of dry swallows. It is a sticky clicking noise. Eyes are burning. People are blinking less often, afraid to miss a signal. When they do blink, it is heavy and slow. A stomach growls. It is low and rumbling. The man closest to the door coughs loudly to cover it. The cough is artificial. It has no phlegm, no illness behind it. It is a tactical cough. It fails. The room knows exactly what happened. The social embarrassment adds a new layer to the tension. Now there is shame mixed with the anxiety. They are waiting for the first mover. In game theory, the first person to speak loses. The first person to break the silence admits that the pressure was too much for them. They are all high-status individuals. They are all paid to be strong. So they are locked in a battle of endurance. Who will break? The man with the tremor, the woman twisting the pen, the older man grinding his jaw. They are all pushing their limits. The silence has become a solid object. It fills the corners of the room. It separates the people like walls of glass. They are sitting 2 feet apart, but they are miles away from each other. The sun outside has moved. A beam of natural light strikes the glass pitcher of water in the center of the table. A prism of rainbow light casts across the single sheet of paper. It illuminates the bottom of the page. There is a signature line there. It is empty. The blank space where the ink should be is the loudest thing in the world. The man at the head of the table unclasps his hands. He places his palms flat on the wood. He takes a breath. It is a deep nasal inhale. His chest expands. 17 other people freeze. This is it. The breath before the speech. The moment of release. He holds the breath. He looks at the empty signature line. He looks at the faces around him. He exhales slowly without speaking. He reclines back into his chair, crossing his arms. He is not going to speak. He is going to let the silence do the work. The room settles back into the heavy, crushing quiet. The wait continues.